You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
There we go. Let's do a show today, everybody. How you doing? My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. For those that tried catching the first version of this particular postcast, thank you very much for your patience. It is very much appreciated. But we're back. We're back in the home studio, no longer in my brother-in-law's carport. For those that enjoyed the carport, well, thank you very much. I enjoyed the carport too. Not so much the bugs or the foxes out there doing whatever it is that they were doing. And surely it didn't really like what the Phillies were doing at the moment in Seattle. But I liked what the Phillies were doing today is they got the 6-0 victory over the Seattle Mariners, and they break their 6-game losing streak. Bryce Harper breaks out of a bad slump. He did have a double last night after a 12-pitch at bat, but it amounted to nothing. Phillies blew a 5-0 lead, and then they were able to come storming back today. And the man who set the tone, other than Zack Wheeler on the hill, was Kyle Schwarber with a Schwarberian leadoff home run to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead in the early goings, obviously, in the first at-bat of the ball game. You love to see it. As I mentioned, Bryce Harper, incredible, and Brandon Marsh's catch. Mwah! Absolutely loved it. Welcome in to Locked On Sports Philadelphia's postcast of your Locked On Phillies. This particular episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. That's prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use promo code, all lowercase, LockedOnMLB. That's LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. And from all of us here at Locked On Sports, thanks for making Locked On your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Let's start it off with three big things as we do each and every day. It might get a little controversial today, folks. Might get a little controversial with three big things. Some people might look at it and be like, well, obviously he should be number one, but I'm going to count it up from 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Number 3, least of the biggest things. I got to split it here. So already starting out with controversy. There are no fences on Locked On Phillies postcast in which we sit on. We pick, we choose one or the other. But I got to say this. One guy you've been waiting for to break out of the slump, that man's name is Bryce Harper. The other set the tone for the day, and that is Kyle Schwarber. I can't choose between the two. I got to go with those as my 3 and my 3A today. You look at Kyle Schwarber starting things off for the Phillies with that blast of a home run, up in the count, 2-0, gets a fastball, down and in, belts it 429 feet out of the ballpark to center field for the Phillies to get that 1-0 lead. And then after that, the Phillies went down 1, 2, 3. Not only did they go down 1, 2, 3 after that in the first inning, they all went down by strikeouts. Turner went down. Harper went down. Bohm went down by strikeouts, but the Phillies still had that 1-0 lead, and you needed some good vibes created in this ball game. And the man that created that first and foremost was Kyle Schwarber. Then after that, goodness gracious, Bryce Harper really took over from that point on. Bryce Harper steps up to the plate to lead off the fourth inning. He gets a single. That is incredible what that single did for him. What you saw for Bryce Harper on that particular play, getting that hit, was ginormous. Left-handed hitters with 3,000 total bases before turning 32. He joins a list of Ken Griffey Jr., Carl Yastrzemski, Yada Pinson, Eddie Matthews, Duke Snyder, Stan Musial, Mel Ott, Lou Gehrig, Leon Goose Gosling, Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, and Sam Crawford. Not bad company. Anytime you got Ruth, Gehrig, Ott, Musial, Snyder, Yastrzemski, and Griffey on there, things are happening. Things are happening. How about this? Not only does he join that list, he joins that list with Ken Griffey Jr. in Seattle. Here for every ounce of that. And that was just the start of something. Because in that inning, Phillies could not get anything going, unfortunately. They come out in the 5th inning, again, couldn't get anything going. Come out in the 6th inning, you get another base hit by Bryce Harper, but it was with 2 outs. They got nothing after that. 7th inning, things are starting to go the Phillies' way, just a little tiny bit. You have Schwarber go in there. He takes over for Gilbert, who was just absolutely dominant in tonight's game. Logan Gilbert absolutely dominant in tonight's game against the Phillies, other than the mistake he made to Kyle Schwarber in the 1st inning. But he went out there, 6 innings of work, 4 hits, the 1 earned run, struck out 7, 98 pitches, though. And we're going to get to a honorable mention a little bit later. But Kyle Schwarber obviously helped set the tone. And then Bryce Harper, he was the Bryce Harper we have come to know in his time here in Philadelphia. After he got his 2nd single of the game, he stepped back up to the plate in the 8th inning. Bryson Stott, great to see him get a home run, making a 2-0 game. Hayes then flew out to left field. Schwarber lined out to right field. Turner worked a walk after a ball was thrown at his head. I don't think it was intentional. It certainly looked like a slider that got away. It was. They take Garcia out of the game at that point. He's the one that buzzed Trey Turner. They go to Susto out there, out of the lefty out of the pen to face Bryce Harper, and Bryce Harper makes him pay. A 3-pitch at bat. He ends up hanging a sweeper in the 3rd pitch of the at bat that he belts over the right field wall for a 2-run home run and a 4-0 Phillies lead. For Bryce Harper at that point, he had already notched a multi-hit game. This is a 3-hit game. This is the first, though, in total for Bryce Harper, his first multi-hit game since July 13th in that A's series, and the only win they had against the A's before the All-Star break. It has been since July 13th. It is now August 4th. And Bryce Harper finally has a multi-hit game under his belt for the first time since July 13th. Great to see that from him. Love to see that from him. So I'm going 3 and 3A, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Number 2. Ooh, this is where the controversy really comes in here. Number 2, not number 1, but number 2 is Zack Wheeler. Why is not number 1? We'll get to that in a second. Number 2, Zack Wheeler. Let's face it. After a game that you have a bullpen game that goes 10 innings, and Jeff Hoffman, of all people, allows 4 runs in the 6th inning after essentially your combined Orion Kerkering and Colby Allard. They combine as your starter for 5 innings, 1 run. And then you give the ball to Jeff Hoffman. He's like, 4-run score. After that, and you need a lot more pitchers to come into the game, you need a starter to go out there and just dominate. You have your big dog on the mound. You have Zack Wheeler pitching. Zack Wheeler did exactly what not only Zack Wheeler needed to do, quite frankly, Zack Wheeler did what we should have expected him to do. And not just us as part of this fan base, part of the media, but also what the clubhouse expected from him tonight, or this afternoon. And he was pitching beautifully. Masterclass. Fastball, locating time and time again with his fastball. He was efficient as all get out in today's game. 2nd inning, he got through it with just 7 pitches. 5th inning, he gets through that one with 8 pitches. 6th inning, buzzes through that one with 10 pitches. And all the while, you didn't see a dip in velo. You didn't see a dip in his control. You didn't see a dip in his accuracy. Everything was as on point as it was in the 1st inning, and that's what you wanted to see from Zack Wheeler. And you see the numbers up there. 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, no runs. Obviously, the 6-0 game. And he punched out 9. That was something we had been waiting for quite some time. One of my favorite innings that he did have was actually, I think it was a 15-pitch inning, maybe in the 3rd. Started off with Moore, got him on a sweeper on 8 pitches. Then he faced Vossler, struck him out on 4 pitches using the splitter. Did give up a single to Robles that was just off the third base bag. A little bit of a bad break, a little bit of bad luck there for the Phillies. Did it unravel into anything? No. He then threw a high fastball to Randy Arozarena, buzzing the top of the zone. Randy Arozarena could not do anything with it, and he struck him out for his 3rd strikeout in that inning alone. 3rd inning, he was making things happen for the Phils. Started off the 4th inning by walking Mr. Big Dumper himself, Cal Raleigh. What a nickname. Walked him on 5 pitches, then struck out Polanco on the fastball. Then he struck out Raley on a splitter. Then he got Haniger to ground it at a 5-4 force out. Bohm smothered it, made a great diving play to his left, made the throw out to second base to end the inning. All that, Wheeler was locked in. When he started the 6th inning, it was at 65 pitches. And in that inning, to get things started, he got Robles to lead off, striking out, looking at a sweeper. So he K'd him looking. Then after that, in the 7th inning, he got Polanco to fly out to center field, and that takes us to number 1. Brandon Marsh's catch puts him at number 1. I didn't know when this was going to happen. It was going to happen at some point. Brandon Marsh, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, something was going to happen that was going to help take this Phillies team to that next level that we had seen them play at earlier in the season. They needed something to go right for them. Polanco in the 7th inning flies out to center field. Now, to go back a little further, in the top of the 7th inning, JT Realmuto hit a line drive to center field. Robles went back on it, and just with his back turned to the field, or turned to home plate, just reached his left hand out there with his mitt and was looking the other way and came down with the baseball. And at that point, you're combining that with the alleged double steal the Phillies tried to run earlier in the ballgame, and you're going, they're not going to win this game. They're making plays like that. There's no way the Phillies are going to win this game. If the Mariners are making plays like that, there's no way the Phillies are winning this baseball game. If Robles is just going to throw the mitt out there and make a blind catch looking the other way, the no-look catch, there's no way the Phillies have good juju, mojo, the baseball gods, the Angels in the outfield references, whatever. There's no way they have those good graces on their side. I see Polanco hit this baseball from Zack Wheeler. He's putting it into the right center field gap. Marsh is drifting over. He gets to the warning track. He starts running along the wall. At this point, I think the ball's gone. I'm thinking he's looking up, thinking the ball's gone. Marsh thinking the ball's gone. And then out of nowhere, I hear Tom McCarthy go, he caught it! He caught it! Just like that. I'm like, what did it? Huh? Well, I didn't see this again. And then T-Mac is already breaking it down with the play-by-play, saying Brandon Marsh at the last second flung his mitt out there and came down with it. Finally saw the ball come down out of the sun and made the catch. All right. Brandon Marsh made a miraculous catch. I mean, there's no way. I mean, he even pointed up to the heavens like, hey, that's one for you, God. Like, thank you for that. And Nick Castellanos was like, what the hell happened, man? He's like, I don't even know. It just fell down and I caught it. I don't know. My mitt was right there. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I even tweeted it out there on the social media platform of the X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I was just like, I can't believe it. Something actually just broke the Phillies' way. That's not supposed to happen. And I'm like, we're back, baby. We're back. 8th inning, then after that, the Phillies went out there and they made sure that they were back. And in that 8th inning, they went from a 1-0 ball game, a 1-0 lead for their starting pitcher in Zack Wheeler, to a 6-0 lead, all in that 8th inning. That is pretty spectacular. Brandon Marsh's catch, it could be the moment that we look back on in mid-September. Phillies are now 6 games up on the Atlanta Braves, again, in the division. The Mets also lost, so that too is a really good thing. We could, look, there's a long way to go, blah, 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 blah. But I'd love to just imagine for a second that it all turned around to the Phillies again being an elite team when Brandon Marsh made the miraculous catch in center field against the Mariners. Ooh, even the alliteration. It's beautiful. It's delicious. Absolutely incredible. Love what I saw tonight, this afternoon, rather, for the Phillies, and they wrap it up with a 6-0 victory over the Mariners. A lot of work to do, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the Phillies in this road trip. They still lost another series, but they did avoid the brooms of the Mariners and got their 66th win of the season finally. And Zack Wheeler, by the way, number 2 on the list, did finally get his 11th win of the season. The last time Zack Wheeler, good gracious, picked up a win was in that Dodgers series before the All-Star break. He went into the All-Star break at 10 wins. He is now at 11 wins, finally. Good to see that. Good to see that for Zack Wheeler. Great to see that for Bryce Harper. Wonderful to see it for Kyle Schwarber, and amazing to see what Brandon Marsh was able to do for this team in center field tonight, this afternoon. Anyway, we'll be back in a second. I want to get you guys, I want to get your take on this game, where you see the Phillies going after this. If that Marsh play was the play that you thought, now we're back. Now we're back. We'll get back to you guys in a second. You're locked on Sports Philadelphia. Also, thank you to all the people that just ignored that first attempt at doing a show and just jumped right back in with me here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Back in a second. Liquid IV. That's Liquid IV. Oh, Liquid IV is fantastic. When you're taking in America's pastime, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's popsicle firecracker flavor. A surefire summer hit. Get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powered hydration brand in America. Because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. No more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. You can get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. Liquid IV is a personal favorite of mine. Was doing some partying over the weekend. Could certainly use some Liquid IV, and I use Liquid IV. And that's how I feel so hydrated right now in speaking to you. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. That's liquidiv.com. And just in case I didn't mention it in the confusion of the top of the show, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. And also, thank you for making Locked On Sports your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Before we get to the chat check, there was just one thing I do have to mention. Look, it's not the lead, which is why I didn't lead with it. But after Bryce Harper led off in the 4th inning with that base hit, and then Bohm popped out to second, Marsh reached on the error. Let's jump through some hoops here. It ended up being 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. Harper's on 3rd. JT Realmuto's at 1st. Realmuto with, I forget who was Realmuto stolen base run down. I forget who was at the plate. Was it Bohm? No, it wasn't Bohm. He flew out. Bohm, Marsh, Castellanos maybe? Yeah, it's Castellanos. Castellanos is at the plate. Realmuto at 1st. Harper at 3rd. Realmuto breaks for second as if to try to steal it. Immediately, they throw to second to try to get Realmuto, who stops running. My first thought was, they must be trying to double steal. That seems stupid, but okay. Whatever works. It didn't, because upon further review, when they gave the all diamond angle, I don't know, Bryce Harper never broke. And he sure as heck didn't look like he was paying attention to Polanco behind the plate. It looked like he just stood there on third base as if he had no idea what was going on. If there was a double steal that was supposed to be on, if it was called from the dugout, then I don't think anybody, it was Cal Raleigh behind the plate, excuse me, not Polanco. Polanco's at second base. Cal Raleigh pops up, throws the second. Real Muto stops in his tracks. Harper took a minute and then finally decided to, I guess, draw a throw, figuring if they're going to get the third out anyway, it might as well be an attempt to get to home. And Harper was a dead duck. If the Phillies, if Rob Thompson called for that, first off, you kind of show that you have zero confidence in this lineup to get you any runs, and I understand why, even though yesterday he had 5. So, number one, stupid to call it after a good offensive performance last night. And then if it was on, why wasn't Harper running? What happened there? That was dumb. I hope I don't see that again. Anyway, by the way, speaking of that offense breaking out, Schwarber a 3-hit day, Harper the 3-hit day, Bohm, Marsh, Real Muto all coming up with hits. Bohm also got another RBI today, so that's good. Stott had the home run. Nice to see that. Trey Turner, the only one left out of the fray. Only thing he was able to do today was work that walk for the Phils. Let's get to the chat check and see how you guys are doing after the Phillies finally win a ball game. I can't believe it. Mike Evans, now we go. Now we got it going, and let's keep it going in LA. Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go Phillies, says Freezer. What's going on? Spurger King. I'm not going to type any smart aleck comments until the audio is straightened out. How are we doing now? Wait, the Isotopes win a game? The Isotopes win a game? The Isotopes win a game. Did the is it the Colorado Isotopes? No, Albuquerque. Albuquerque Isotopes, right? Of Dominic Brown and Ryan Howard fame, if I'm not mistaken. Buddy Christ. First off, thank you for being with Brandon Marsh on that catch. Hopefully this can be the start of them breaking out of the slump. Who was worried? I wasn't worried. You liar. Buddy Christ, you liar. Raymond Clark. Okay, let's go. There we go. I'm here. I'm back. Raymond Amato. Oh, my God. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. OMG, they won. Holy cow. Am I dreaming? Hopefully they can continue this and keep winning. We're all on the same page. Hey, since Brandon Marsh's catch, the Phillies are 1-0. Oh, how about this? Nicky one pitch with a 12-pitch at bat. Excuse me, Johnson Wall. That was not a 1-pitch at bat. Or excuse me, a 12-pitch at bat. That was a 15-pitch at bat, the longest at bat in the majors. Ladies and gentlemen, okay. If you were to go on another fine sponsor of the program, FanDuel or something, right? And before the season, you were to get odds on who would have the longest at bat of the season. And you were to get odds on Nick Castellanos, okay? I think every night with the Sixers, Ben Simmons to hit a three-pointer was like plus 1,600 every night. Nick Castellanos to get the longest at bat of the Major League Baseball season in the first week of by the first week of August. What do you think that'd be going off at? Plus 100,000? Here's the best part about that 15 the 15 pitch at bat he had in the second inning. Yeah, it was with 2 outs. Here's the best. Let me just make sure. I think I wrote this down. Or I did write it down, but I just want to make sure that it's actually correct. So yes, it was a 15 pitch at bat, and that looks really good. He started 0-2. I know that. Yeah, he swung at the first pitch. He swung over top a slider that was down in the zone, and then he looked at a slider that was in the zone, and then he proceeded to foul off. This is what I did write down. He went down 0-2. He fouled off 9 balls in total, and he fouled off 6 pitches in a row before, unfortunately, if he can even lose a 15-pitch at bat, lost the battle, grounding out to third base and hitting it on a rope too. He hit it on the screws, people. But yeah, 15 pitch at bat by Nick Castellanos, longest bat in baseball this season. Goose, what's going on? I think we are snapped out of it. I think last game everyone had a good game, mostly except for Hoffman, who we can give a break to. Now that's a fine way to look at it right now. So goes Harper, so goes the Phillies, says Raymond Clark. Luis Adario. Luis Adario. You know what I'm saying? Can I say it like that? Broke my Lucky Cole Hamels luck shirt today. You broke it? Now it goes in a safe until October, since it's still undefeated. All right, there you go. Mike Levins, how much more enjoyable are these postcasts when Farzy walks us through a win? Well, just know that I also enjoy it. Odetta Farzetta loves her some pancetta. We have no Odettas in the family. We have an Emanuela Montaluz. That's my daughter, named after her great-great-grandmother. But no Odettas. See? All right, here. Mr. Pat Say. Here you go. That accidental catch. I love it. Accidental catch by Brandon Marsh. There are no accidents. They're just miracles. Anyway, the accident catch by Marsh might just be the break the Phillies needed to turn their season around. Right? Lois, that catch, a momentum turner. Heck yeah. Woody Buzz, Angels in the outfield. Thank God, Farzy. You're right. Sixers. Go Sixers, absolutely. All right, Mr. TR, or MPTR. How dare you? Let us bask in our glory of a victory that we have not enjoyed in 6 games' time. Miles, there we go. Long winning streak. Please let this be a long winning streak, says Frank. We're all on the same page. Oh, how dare you, Spurger King? How dare you shame me for my totally appropriate given the time take? Like, we've had starters have great games. We've had starters that have had great games, and we have lost those games, sir. And you know why we've lost those games? No miraculous catch by Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh is the one thing we were really, truly looking for. I mean, look, all you needed was one run to help the Wheeler effort. But you know what you ended up getting? You ended up getting a bunch of runs in the offense, and then you also ended up getting the Brandon Marsh catch. Without the Brandon Marsh catch, if Brandon Marsh doesn't catch that ball, Polanco leads off that inning, probably standing on third base. You know what I'm saying? Just saying is all. Go back to that 7th inning. Let's look at that. Yeah, Polanco's probably standing on third base to lead off that inning in a 1-0 game. So Marsh, in essence, could have saved Wheeler's amazing start. And then that run would come home to score on that sack bunt, assuming that'd be the next play anyway. And then it's a 1-1 game and Wheeler loses everything if not for Brandon Marsh. So Spurger King, how dare you? How dare you? Please don't unsubscribe. Anyway, plus you're an OG, man. You're an OG. Okay, I think we're all on the same page here. SJ, so happy for this win. My evening is made. Isn't it nice when they win the afternoon game and we could just enjoy the evening? You know what I'm saying? Thanks, everybody in the chat. Again, thank you for everyone that made it over to the second version of this particular postcast. I do appreciate that. For those that are like, what are you talking about? I already deleted it off of YouTube. So that previous version does not exist anymore. I hope. Anyway, I'll be back in a second to preview that LA Dodgers series coming up after this. You're Locked On Sports Philadelphia and Locked On Sports Philadelphia postcast. Oh, let me tell you about the amazing people, the incredible people, ladies and gentlemen, at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is where it's at. If you're not enjoying Prize Picks, what are you doing? Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is where it's at. Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers, unlike other sites. All you do on Prize Picks is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community. Today, you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 on Prize Picks. Get in on the excitement and win up to 100 times your cash with summer games going on right now on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's LOCKEDONMLB, all lowercase, on Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's just that easy with Prize Picks. So let's break it down right now for your Philadelphia Phillies who have won 1 in a row. You win tomorrow, that'll be 2 in a row. Win another after that. That's what's called a winning streak. All right. Now, the Phillies are going to be facing that Dodgers team. 10-10 start time tomorrow night. Of course, the Phillies swept the Dodgers. It's their last sweep of the season. It's their last back-to-back wins of the season. It has been quite some time since the Phillies were able to put 2 wins together. And facing the LA Dodgers right now is a welcome sight. As you look at the standings going into this game, before we get into the pitching matchup, the Phillies right now, after today's win, they improved to 2-8 in their last 10 games. They improved to 6 games over the Braves. They improved to 8 games over the Mets in the division. The LA Dodgers have won their last 2 games. They're 4-6, so they're not exactly a phenomenal baseball team over a recent stretch for them either. Looking at their most recent schedule, again, just 4 out of their last 10 that they have won. They are coming into this game after dropping a series against the Houston Astros. They dropped the series to the San Diego Padres, a brief 2-game series, and they were able to rally back and beat the Oakland A's in a 3-game series, 2-1. Now they face the Philadelphia Phillies, all 3 games, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. All at 10-10. So it's going to be a sleeping night on the postcast program. For the Phillies, Aaron Nola will get the start tomorrow night, 11-4 on the season with a 3.43 ERA. He is coming off a 5 2/3 performance against the New York Yankees, that game that ended up going 12 innings. He went 5 2/3, 2 runs on 7 hits, did give up a home run. As for the LA Dodgers, Glasnow makes the start for them. He comes into this game 8-6 on the season with a 3.50 ERA. He's coming off a 7-inning, 3-run, all-earned, 6-hit performance. Did surrender a home run against the San Diego Padres in a game that also went into extra innings. Actually, they lost both of his most recent starts. He went 5 innings against the Giants, allowing 2 runs, all earned on 4 hits and another home run. He's allowed a home run in each of his last 3 starts. And that's the way this cookie's gonna crumble before things get underway tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Locked On Phillies postcast of the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, stay subscribed. Talking to you, Spurgeon King. And I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night. Well, really, tomorrow night. Let's be real here. Be back with you guys early Tuesday morning to break down the Phillies even further. Thanks, everybody. Be back with you guys after tomorrow night's game. We'll say it like that. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.